for me to know that God's in charge of everything because God created it. Lucifer and God are not on the same level. So that right there encourages me. They're not on the same level. It's not like, in this corner is God, in this corner is Satan. No. Satan is a created what? A created being. I believe the reason why things happen is because, again, God wanted to show people how good he was and is and always will be by having this being called Lucifer, or in other words, like in movies, there's a good guy, the bad guy. Same thing works with Lucifer. Lucifer's the bad guy, and God is always the good. I say the importance of it because without sin, there'll be no need for God. Without sin, there'll be no need for Christ. So because of our nature, and I said it on radio today, that it's funny how the technology of man is getting bigger, but the dealing with man is getting worse. We're no good. So again, Christ died to save us from sin. And also Christ died so he can show that God can identify with what? Suffering. That right there speaks to the heart of God. How can you be a God and don't know what I feel? Their small g gods don't identify with us. They look at Greek mythology and Roman mythology, the small g gods, and they were hateful, they were envious, whatever. But the God of the Bible, which is the God, not a God, big difference, the and a God is a big difference, right? Because a God is a point of their other gods. But when you say the God, we don't want to talk about one God, which goes back to monotheism. You don't want to live in anarchy. Anarchy is the point of there's no direction, there's no rules, there's nothing there. All right. So even though man wants this, it's really saying, God, I don't want to hear what you can tell me what to do. We need boundaries. Why? Because the water has boundaries. If the water didn't have boundaries based on the moon, the whole earth would have been wiped out already. Y'all do know that, right? Water does cover 2/3 of the earth and only 1/3 of land. All right? Which also gives implications of why the flood was very easy to happen. God just took away that high tide, low tide, and just wiped it out for a while. Now again, only the high priest was able to come into the Holy of Holies, right? Because this Ark of Covenant was within the tabernacle, right? And only the high priest could see this area. So we got to be very careful, those of us who are in particular positions. All right, Lord, what am I doing that may affect someone positively or negatively? That's why I take my job very seriously as a pastor, as a college professor. So what I say, you guys take. If I say things out of context or I say things because of manipulation, God gonna get me. Even though he was a public doing great things, privately wasn't doing right. And that's why you gotta be systematic. Amen. That's my favorite word, right? Systematic. I am not going to jeopardize my walk with God and my walk with my wife for your foolishness. I ain't gonna do it. Because some people, I'm almost done here. Some people love to see you out of character, to lift you up or tear you down. I mean, again, my time in Porsche, I see the blessings. My business doubled, my hair's growing, I'm doing comedy. I mean, when I was going through that time, I started writing books about good 2-3 years. Now I can't stop writing more books. Why? Because of the freedom and the love and the nourishment she gives to me. Amen, somebody. Amen. If you got someone, boy, you're gonna make me preach it. You got someone constantly stifling you? That's great. You can't do that. From what? Hebrew and what? And Greek. All right. So again, it's not that the Bible itself is 1611. Oh no. It's from a translation of Hebrew and Greek. That makes it different. So when people start saying, "Oh, the England owns the Bible," and because of that, all the stuff that they want, no, it's from Hebrew and Greek, the original. Because back then there was no English when the Hebrew and Greek English first Hebrew and Greek language came out. There was no England. Come on, somebody, help me. There was no England. But that's why the Bible is so rich in antiquity and history. The Bible did not start in 1611. Y'all do know that, right? It wasn't written in English. So that's the problem. People think that the first Bible was written in English. It wasn't. It was written in Hebrew and Greek. The Bible was started in 1611. I have a lot of issues with it. Amen, somebody. But that wasn't when the Bible first started. I'm making sense about it.
That was when the King James Version started.
That's when the King James Version started. That was in English. All right? Because prior to, gospel might help here. Prior to that, Catholic Church didn't allow people to read the Bible because people were not learned or literate to read it. That's why most universities were for the priests in theology. And then when people started learning more, the Bible, the English Bible, was actually attached to the altar. The people didn't want people to read it. So again, the King James Version is in 1611, but that's not the beginning of the Bible.